Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. I wanted to give you an update on my thought processes. Let me start by thanking everyone who gave me comments. Uh, thank folks who shared my video. There are several comments on YouTube and several on Facebook. All of them are really, really great and important things for me to think about. But I wanted to update you on where my thinking is today. Obviously, the first thing that I mentioned was the money, the initial outlay. The interesting thing about this, there are several, but the interesting thing about this opportunity is that it's really not a ton of money. It's not like, oh, you've got to go buy a business, whatever, and it's $50,000. We're not talking sums like that at all. For my entire life, don't ask me why. Well, I know why, but that's another video. I've never been on the high end earning scale. I've never even been in the middle end earning scale. I've always been on the low end earning scale. People have always liked my work. Like I said, just recently I had a law firm that I used to manage pull me back because I was the only person that could solve their problem. But that's not like I was making lawyers' fees. So the money that we're talking about is actually quite low. And honestly, it's all covered, and I believe, that is, I have it in hand, and I foresee that should I go through with this, I'll have no problem making that little bit back. And the rent on the place is, for a business building, is frightfully low. So with the potential for increased students, I see making the initial investment back relatively quickly. The initial investment, buying out basically what is currently a gym. Originally, he wanted us to buy out all of his equipment. We've expressed that we didn't need the weight machines and things like that. So he's going to sell those off himself. So really all I'm buying out is the floor, which is matting, which is perfect. I'd have to ultimately spend on that anyway. So for right now in my thinking, and for your thinking, and hopefully I get some future comments, cancel the money out. The money cancels itself out. That's the easy part. What my current thought process is on the plus side. Currently, the students that I have, we use space that is headed up by Dan Bernardo of Well Within Martial Arts. So we're going into his space every Tuesday and Thursday night and Saturday morning. We're going into his space. That's one reason why there's a time constraint. There's only so much time. He would like to expand more, but he's being gracious and allowing me a little bit of time. But we're in his space. If I do this, I would have my own space. It would actually be directly connected with Dan Bernardo and Well Within. Physically connected, literally next door with the doors right between the two buildings, which is great because Dan and I collaborate well. We now are on getting ready in June for our second Good Martial is Universal workshop weekend. So, oh wow, now we would have twice the space if we do this, if I do this. So one of my thought processes is for my existing students, the idea of having their own place, of it being theirs, of having ownership, would be a tremendous motivation for them. That their space that they could share, their space where it's, like I said, having ownership. I think that would be great for them. I think it would help them, motivate them more, and help them to learn more. I think that would pay off in new students, people coming into that space that is geared towards Wing Chun. Yes, there would be the JKD kickboxing kind of thing too, but that would also be their space as opposed to sharing somebody else's space. Another plus is that, as I mentioned, that Dan and I can collaborate. On the other hand, the other part of that balance, I'm 67 years old. How many more years can I teach? I mean, yes, okay, you got Guru Anasanto out there, he's in his 80s, and Sifu Feng, my primary Wing Chun instructor, he's in his 70s. I mean, and okay, there's always the existential, we don't know if we even have tomorrow. I get that. Setting that aside, how many more years can I teach? What is the benefit sufficient? At my age, in this situation that I am in now, in terms of pure raw financials for me, I could just be done with it, not teach at all, and I would come out fine, with the exception of the fact that I can't see myself sitting around for however long I have left. I'm going to be doing Wing Chun or something. From my position, from the current position, I could leave things alone, not touch a thing. Just keep sharing that space with Dan, paying the rent that I'm paying for the short bit of class time that's available, having the students that I have, not change a thing. And that would be fine. But there is this, for me, there's this benefit to the students. Plus, also, there's a benefit to Dan. Dan is in his prime. If I buy the adjacent space, rent it out, whatever, when the time comes when I cannot teach, it would be easy for Dan to absorb it, rather than being in the situation that he and I have been in for the past several years, wishing this guy next door would leave or move or whatever. No, it would just be me handing it over to Dan, so he could expand. Because like I said, he is in his prime. Now, we can't see the future. Dan may at some point decide to move some other place. He may strike it rich and decide to build his own facility. Who knows? But there is, in my mind, there is that thought. So that's where my brain, that's the balance that I'm weighing right now. The benefit to the students, which I see a great benefit, versus how much longer. And if you're saying, well, it sounds like I've already made my decision, it's a reasonable assumption. I'm pretty close, but the deal is not done yet. Some other shoe may drop. And until the deal's, well, as they say, it's not over until the fat lady sings. The deal isn't done yet. So I still need some of your input. If you have any thoughts, any ideas, let me know. I will continue to discuss this with you and see what the public has to say. I hope you're having a great day. Keep on training.